Jerry, we've got to talk about the state of WCW in April of 2000. Before we get specific to what was going on there, what were your negotiations with WCW throughout the years prior to its end?
Well, every regime, whoever was in charge of WCW would call me down and say, what do we need to do? And careers were lost over and over and over because they made a bad decision. And I would tell whoever it was that here's what you need to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they'd go, oh, we can't do that. That kind of environment will not fly in a corporate situation. I said, well, then give up, because Vince has built a corporation around a wrestling company, and you're wanting to build a wrestling company within a corporation, and it won't work. Right. You have to have a czar in the wrestling business. You can't have a committee. You have to have one person that's in charge. If he don't cut it, fire him. Don't ease him out to the side. Have a contract where you can fire him if he doesn't perform to whatever levels you have. That booker, whatever you want to call him, producer, that booker has to have 100% total control over all the talent. He has to be in charge of who gets a contract, who doesn't, and how much they get paid.
Right.
And the reason is that the soap opera that he writes every week, he cannot be at the talent's mercy, because you can't get 10 people or 20 people or 30 people or even 2 people to say, oh, that's a great idea, beat the shit out of me. Now, you know, they all say, here's the way we need to go. You need to put all the emphasis on me, and I need to sabotage. So you have to have a booker, and he has to have total control. Bill Shaw was there. Bill said, Jerry, I get it, but there's got to be another way. That won't work here.
Right.
We have to have budgets, and I said, I can have a budget. Tell me if you got 5,000 or 5 million to pay the talent, but you can't have any say-so over what I pay. You know, I can work within whatever budget I have to. So anyway, I think Jack Petrie was the first one, and Jack really wanted me to come down. And I said, not unless you agree to these. And then Bill Shaw, and who was the accounting guy? I don't know. The last one that was there.
After Shaw, it was.
Well, anyway, yeah. He was a really nice guy, and I went down and had a meeting with him right before he got the axe, and it was very sad, because the Turner people at that point in time didn't let anybody down easy. It was just,
yeah.
So anyway, that was my relationship. Now, the next event was I'd just gotten back from working for Vince and WWE or WWF, and Eric Bischoff called me, and I explained to him that the reason I wasn't with Vince wasn't anything personal. I just was homesick and wanted to be at home. And he said, well, you can work with me as a consultant, and we'll just talk over the telephone, and I'll send you all the tapes and videos, and you can kind of critique it and give us some guidance. I said, boy, that sounds like a good job. So Eric hired me. And so for the next year, I got a check from Vince. He wouldn't quit paying me for some reason. Yeah, there is a reason. He's just a nice guy. But anyway, he kept paying. And I got a check from WCW, so and I didn't have to leave home.
Right.
So boy, that was candy land, wasn't it?
Not bad. But then in 2001, before Vince gets control of WCW and its history, you make a bid to buy that company.
Yes. It became public knowledge that AOL took over and they didn't like wrestling. So wrestling was going away. And so I have a friend that's an investment banker in Boston, so I was talking to him. And I said, boy, is the right clients of yours, and he had some real heavyweight clients, wanted to make a good return on their money, they'd buy WCW, because it is so easy to turn it around. It is, it's being mismanaged, misrun from top to bottom. And I forget the number, but that they were having as revenue. The numbers I don't know, but all I know is that it was quite good. So he said, do you think you could get them to send me the financials to take a look at? I said, I don't know, I can try. So anyway, they ended up sending them to him for 5 years. And John put together a group, syndicate, whatever, and offered him $70 million.
70, right? 70.
70.
Yeah.
And they never responded back to it. Not an email, not a letter, not a phone call. And John said, they've obviously already made a deal with somebody. So we found out Vince ended up buying it.
For 5.
Well, that's what I heard. I don't know.
Well, that's the ballpark anyway, we know,
Yeah.
and it certainly wasn't 70.
No.
Yeah.
And it would have been, at the time it seemed like an exorbitant amount of money. But today, when you reflect back on Vince generating $400 million a year, 70 was chicken feed.
Yeah.
So they, I like to faint it when I opened the FedEx thing and I saw the copy of the thing, and I called John and I said, "Are you crazy?" He said, "No, I think it'd be a good buy at that."
Wow.